Hello everybody. Today I can reduce rational expressions by factoring and canceling common factors. So we just spent a lot of time learning how to factor. Now we are going to do an application using factoring. If I want to reduce a fraction, I need to factor. I need to factor the top. I need to factor the bottom. Once I factor, I'm going to cancel common factors. So let's not do this example. Let's do this one's good. So on top, I have, so let's actually just talk about single terms and married terms. So when someone gets married, they have a wedding ring. A plus or a minus sign is your wedding ring. So if there's a plus or a minus, I call it a married factor, and it can only cancel with an identical married factor. If there is no plus or minus, then it's a single factor and it can cancel with another single factor. So if I see married factors on top, these are all married. I got a three-way marriage going on. Don't quite know what to say about that, but either way, it's a married factor, so we need to factor it. So we switch into factoring mode. Factor GCF dots. Is there a GCF? No. There's three terms, so it's a trinomial. Two sets of parentheses, x and x. First sign comes down. Negative to negative is a positive. Multiplies to 3. Subtracts to 2. 3 and 1. Bigger number goes first. On bottom, is there a GCF? No. Two terms. Dots or cubes? It's dots. They're both perfect squares. So two sets of parentheses. Plus and minus. Square root of each. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of x squared is x. It's two separate factoring problems. Now I cancel common factors. Do I have anything the same on top and bottom? Yes. X plus 1 and 1 plus x. Even though they're written backwards, in addition, order does not matter. We will talk about a twist on that. So I'm left with x minus 3 on top, 1 minus x on bottom. Can I cancel anything else? Can I cancel these x's out? And the answer is no, because this x is married to this 3, and this x is married to this 1. They just can't go canceling with each other. Your final answer is x minus 3 over 1 minus x. It's two separate factoring problems. Factor the top, factor the bottom, cancel common factors. It could be any type of factoring. Let's take a look at number 4. There's going to get a little bit of a twist on this one. I see married terms, so I need to factor them. Factor GCF dots. There is a GCF of 5. Divide by the GCF to determine what goes inside. 2 minus x. On bottom, is there a GCF? No. 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. X, first sign comes down. Positive and a negative is a negative. Multiplies to 8, subtracts to 2, 4 and 2. Now, I'm looking for common factors. I see an x minus 2 and a 2 minus x. When you have a factor written backwards with a minus sign, they do cancel, but they cancel to negative 1. So I'm going to cross them out. I'm going to put a negative 1 in its place. That's when I have a factor written backwards with a minus sign. On top, I have 5 times negative 1, which is negative 5. On bottom, I have x plus 4. So if you see a factor written backward with a minus sign, they do cancel, but they cancel to negative 1. It technically does not matter if I put the negative 1 on top or bottom. Don't put them both places. I always put it on top. Let's do one more. Let's do number... let's do number 7. I see married terms. I factor. On top, is there a GCF? No, it's a trinomial. So I factor the trinomial. Two sets of parentheses. X and x. First sign comes down. Positive and a positive is a positive. Multiplies to 2, adds to 3, 2 and 1. Now the bottom, is there a GCF? No, it's 4 terms, so it's grouping. And since grouping is multiple steps, I'm just going to pop it off to the side, and I'm going to do the whole process. So if you're doing like a GCF plus something else, or grouping, or cubes, or a tricky trinomial, just like I'm doing here, do it all to the side, and then take that answer and rewrite it in factored form. GCF for the first group is x squared. GCF for the second group is 8. So I've got x squared, x plus 2, plus 8, x plus 2. These match. You obviously cannot do this lesson if you don't know how to factor. This is for once you've mastered your factoring. So I'm just going to now go back to my rewritten factored form of everything. And now that I did it off to the side, I cancel common factors. I'm left with x plus 1 over x squared plus 8. I can't cancel this x and this x squared because they're married. If there was no plus signs there, I could. But there is, so I can't. And that's your answer. So to reduce rational expressions, factor. Two separate factoring problems. Factor the top, factor the bottom. It could be GCF, dots, trinomials, tricky trinomials, grouping, bridge, cubes. It could be any type of factoring. Regardless of what it is, factor it, and then cancel your common factors. Practice. See ya.